So how do you make sure you're taking the right actions?
This is a question that our clients ask us all the time because it could be in business, getting into better shape, or even connecting deeper with your family. And I find the root of this is we want to make sure that we're taking the right actions. We don't want to waste any time. And it's a beautiful question to ask, but one that we want to help you answer today by diving into what we learned by reading the book Deep Work by Cal Newport. Now, there are a few tweaks that we made to really be able to help us and our clients even more. But we want to let you know that if you lean into these universal principles, you can excel in all of these areas if you make sure you have these three things.
It's time to redefine leadership. Welcome to Modern Leadership, where we see things differently. Our channel is all about empowering entrepreneurs like you to achieve the next level of success in business and life. We believe that you can create a massive impact in the world without compromising your personal life or family time to do so.
We're committed to providing you with actionable tips and strategies weekly to make that possible. So if you're ready to become a modern leader and make a lasting difference in the world, consider subscribing. Turn on notifications and dive into our community. We want to thank you for being here because the world needs your leadership now more than ever. Let's go.
So welcome back to Modern Leadership, our channel for family-driven entrepreneurs where we help you create a business you love, connect deeper with your family, and get into the best shape of your life. Doing those things has a lot to do with prioritizing, finding that harmony, that space in between where you want to be able to excel at all of it, but also not being distracted by the million other things that we can get distracted at. I mean, even watching this video, you probably had a bunch of different distractions that could have pulled you away. And that's the truth through all of these areas of life. So let's take full control today. Now we're going to break this down how we normally do, where we talk about the mindset, the tactics, and the accountability, or really getting yourself to take action. So I want to start off on the mindset around deep work. Now you probably have experienced it, but the world is really noisy right now. It's trying to get your attention. And what it does is it tries to convince you to take on the shallow work or the things that really don't move the needle forward the most. We often call this busy work. It's doing things that feels like you're moving your business forward or feels like you're moving your family connection forward, but it's actually not moving forward at all. Sometimes we even call this putting out other people's fires. And it's so easy to get distracted, especially with everybody trying to vie for our attention right now. That's why we have to dive into the mindset around deep work. So deep work is described as the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task. Now, the way that I interpreted this is thinking about some of the things that you want to create and finding out what is the next step for you to take that you can put your time and energy into, avoid all the distractions, because that will help you achieve your goal faster. So when we think about the mindset behind this, it's not about doing a million different things. It's about doing one thing with excellence and actually being able to master that thing, so much so that when you master that, you actually can use that skill in multiple areas of your life. So let me give you an example. So for me, my deep work was focusing on the aspect of leadership coaching, is how to have conversations and help people get to the root of what's actually causing them to get stuck. Now, here's the thing. There was a lot of other skills that I had to learn before I actually dove into that skill. But what I realized is when I dove into it and I tried whatever I could to master it, that it also made me a better business owner, made me better at sales, made me better at helping people get results, maybe a better police officer, maybe a better husband and a better father. It was a skill that made me so much better in multiple areas. And because I put the time and energy into developing that skill and not being distracted by everything else, it actually helped me get more results in my life, but also helped so many other people get results too. And that wouldn't have been possible if I hadn't tapped into the mindset behind deep work, which is instead of going a mile wide and an inch deep, we go an inch wide and a mile deep. So we can get to the point where we master it and people actually think of us because of that thing, and we work on becoming the best in the world at it. Now, how do you find out your thing? Well, I'm going to pass it to Teresa because let's tap into the tactics behind it.
So yeah, how do you do that? We actually do this with our clients, and it's really about asking questions, because we're not going to tell you this is exactly what you need to do because we don't know that. Everybody is different. So asking questions is the most powerful way to find what it is that you need to do.
So can you give them some examples of some questions we'd ask them?
So one of the questions is, what do you most want right now? Because we have to dive into what goals you have, what desires you have, and also determine where you are right this moment, because that's really important to understand as well.
We actually took some of our inner circle members through this a few minutes ago. One of the ways you can do this is if you can close your eyes and you can think about 3 years from now, what would your business look like to say, this is my version of success? Like you wake up and you have the business of your dreams. You have the relationships that you've always wanted to have. You have the health that you always wanted to have. What is that for you? What does it look like? Paint a picture. Who are you around? Where are you? How do you feel? All of these things matter because when we think about reverse engineering it and thinking about the deep work it's going to take to get there, we have to first figure out where we want to go. That's why asking ourselves these questions are so powerful.
So the next question is, based off of that, what is the most important task you need right now? That once you master it, it will make the biggest impact. And how can you prioritize that accordingly? When we think about moving towards our goals, there are things that actually make us move faster. So the author of Deep Work recommends that we devote our time and effort to excel in that thing. And then ask yourself, how can I avoid all distractions that could actually come up along the way?
Yeah, I really like that question because you can start solving for those problems in advance. A lot of us know some of the distractions that are going to come up. Maybe something happening with the kids or something related to, I don't know, our dog or something like that. Like we know for the most part some of those distractions and we can plan for them accordingly. And when he talks about deep work, he talks about you kind of like locking yourself in a room, making sure that you don't have electronics, you don't have anything that could actually get you distracted, will help you to learn that skill and then master it. Because when we are distracted and we're not focused on it, we're going to be all over the place and we're not going to be able to go all in on that skill. Now, the third piece, and this brings it all together, is the accountability. Is how do you get yourself to show up and to do it? And I have 3 different ways that you can do that. So once you identify what your thing is that you're going to devote your time and attention to, the next step is to remind yourself of it every single day. One of the things that I do is I like to pre-program my brain on what we're going to be focusing on for that day. And so I read my affirmations, I read my goals, I think about my gratitude list, and really I think about what it is that I'm going to be focusing my time and attention on today. It's a way of me pre-programming my brain to know where to go, as opposed to just jumping into social media and letting that choose where I go. Can you only imagine where I'd be? Now, number 2 is to find a tribe of people who understand the power of deep work. Because when you start to hang around with people who have that same motivation and inspiration, and they're getting after it when it comes to deep work, you'll realize that it's contagious and you'll want to do more of that yourself. The third piece is I want you to sit back and give yourself a little bit of grace as you get started with this. I want you to think about what has been working and what hasn't been, and what are some adjustments you can make along the path. I know when I first started to do this, I actually didn't set myself up for success. My phone was not on Do Not Disturb. I hadn't told anybody in the family what I was going to do and why I was going to do it. And it was kind of all over the place. But I learned through those lessons what to do, what to change, and you will too. Now, you want to try this? Here's how you can give it a shot. In the comment section below, let us know what spoke loudest to you in this video and what you are going to commit to taking action on as a result of what you learned. Then see how you show up once you do. The truth is not everybody's going to do that, but you'll see who the real dedicated are because they will post that and it'll get you to show up on an entirely different level. Now, if a team like this is something you like to have so that you can pour into more consistently to hold you accountable, that's what we do here on this channel. Definitely subscribe and join us for our Saturday workshops where we take deep dives into some of these topics around building a business you love, connecting with your family, and getting into the best shape of your life. Thank you for being willing to lean in and find that thing that once you master it will help you make a bigger impact in the world. Most people aren't willing to do it, but the good thing is that you're not most people. You're a modern leader. Keep leading from the front.